All right, so you tuned in for a great week because tonight we are making some protein-packed banana bread. And so this is gonna give you all the comfort feels, all the homey feels, all the feels of eating some really delicious banana bread. However, it's only gonna be 160 calories a slice. It's gonna have lots of protein in it. And I can't wait for you to see this and for you to make this and for your kids to ask for it. And it is so good. It's gonna make 8 servings. And so you're gonna be able to make it inside of one bowl. So it's super easy, super simple. You can make it, your kids can make it. And yeah, without further ado, let's flip you down and get making our healthy protein-packed banana bread. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna peel 2 large ripe bananas, okay? And when we're all done, this recipe is gonna make 8 slices. 8 slices is going to have over 8 grams of protein inside of each one, which is really significant because most of these times, these are just filled with a lot of carbs, no fiber. And so, well, very little fiber and lots of carbs. And there's gonna be absolutely no sugar inside of this, no flour. And I'm using like a meat masher just to kind of break this up a little bit, but you're gonna want to, I'm gonna go in with a fork in a moment, but just kind of crush up your banana. This would be great if you have some bananas sitting around and they're really ripe and they need to get used. Okay, once we have it there, I'm gonna go in with a fork and just finish mashing. Okay, and you're really just trying to get out any of the big chunks. And bananas, when you mash them, they kind of get slimy. That's okay. It'll lose that when we bake it. So. Okay, so we've got all the big chunks out. So here is our 2 bananas, okay? Now we are going to add here, this is going to be our almond flour, and I have 2/3 cups or 75 grams. So 2/3 cups or 75 grams of almond flour, which is basically crushed up almonds. You can make your own, you can buy it. I buy a big bag of it right at Sam's Club. Most of your grocery stores have it. So we're gonna put that in there. I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in. I'm gonna have 2 scoops of a protein powder. If you watched our video where I made our protein pancakes, I used a Snickerdoodle. I'll show you that in a moment. I'm gonna have 2 scoops of that. You can use 2 scoops of a vanilla protein powder, but I have a Snickerdoodle, which has a little bit of a kind of like a Snickerdoodle spice to it, which goes great with our banana bread. So if you don't have one, I can send you over a discount code on this one. This is the one I'm using, Snickerdoodle, right here. Again, this is where a lot of our protein's gonna come from. This is where a lot of our really healthy stuff's gonna come from, is from the protein powder. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get that in there. I then have 2 eggs, okay? 2 large eggs. I'm gonna whisk them up just a little bit in the bowl to get that egg broken up. Pour that in. I then have 1/4 cup of unsweetened almond milk or unsweetened cashew milk. We're a cashew milk house, so I'm using the unsweetened cashew milk, but you can use any unsweetened nut milk, and that's gonna be 1/4 of a cup of that. I have 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of honey. It's gonna give us a little bit of sweetness in there. And then I also have 2 tablespoons of a natural peanut butter. You basically just want it to be runny. And this is almond butter. So 2 tablespoons of almond butter. And I'm just using Justin's almond butter. Here's the honey that we used. Okay. So once you get that in there, now you're just going to mix it up. It smells like fall. Listen, I know we're not quite to fall yet, but it smells so good. And if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can go in with your whisk. It's going to make it a little bit simpler. Combine everything nicely, and you're going to have, when you're done, a thick batter. Okay, so here we go. We are going to grab a bread pan just like this, and we are going to just line this with a little bit of cooking spray. So just a little spray on the sides, on the bottom, just like that, okay? Once we get that done, go ahead and tap this off. The one thing I almost forgot, 1 tablespoon of either ghee or melted coconut oil. I use the coconut oil. Gosh, I cannot believe I almost forgot that. So 1 tablespoon of melted ghee or melted coconut oil. I just use some melted coconut oil, and we're just going to now mix that in until it's just combined. And now we're going to go ahead and put it into our loaf pan. All right, so once we get it inside of our loaf pan, we use our spatula, clean this out, got it in our loaf pan. We're gonna give it a little jiggle, you can give it a little tap. We're gonna put this in our preheated oven at 325 degrees, and this is gonna go in for 25 to 30 minutes. We're gonna set the timer for 25 minutes, and then we're gonna check it and see where we're at. Our banana bread is out of the oven, and we are going to get it out of our pan. Voila! I'm gonna dump it back over, and here we go. We have 8 different servings of our protein-packed banana bread. Each serving is going to be 160 calories, fiber, protein. Serve it just like this with a little bit of butter, however you want. So let's tilt you down and cut. All right, so we're gonna cut this. And we're gonna put it right here on a plate. And then my favorite way is to take about a teaspoon of butter, just put it over just like that. Take about my favorite way to take about a teaspoon of butter, not even a teaspoon, like 1/4 of a teaspoon, just a little bit. You don't even need a lot of butter, 1/4 of a teaspoon, just like that. And you can see the slices are fairly big. Like, it's not a little sliver, it's a decent slice. And all right, so once we get a little bit of butter on there, you can eat it without that little bit of butter, but that little bit of butter coming fresh out of the oven, hot, is just, it's so good. And again, at only 160 calories, this is a great snack. It's gonna have your protein, it's gonna have your fiber, and it's just, you can keep this in the fridge 4 to 6 days. It's really good. It really gives you all the fall feels. Got your cinnamon. It's got a little bit, because of the protein powder we used, it's got a little bit of a pumpkin-y taste to it with the cinnamon and the banana, and it almost tastes a little bit like a pumpkin banana bread with the cinnamon. It's just really delicious. So make sure, if you have not, we got all kinds of great recipes here on the channel, as well as weight loss tips, inspiring interviews. If you have not, smash that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. Join our growing community right here. Make sure to do it. You'll get alerted first for any announcements, any new recipes, and we would love to have you join our community. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.